Don't blame me. It was a decision that was made by AI.
Do you be goat or a fish? Don't sit on the fence.
Mysterious giant lobster placed across from charging bull. We know that bull is a whole bunch of bull, but at least it's got horns. It's a horned mammalian creature. So some could say it's goat. Some could say that it's goat. And then, of course, here comes this lobstrosity. Two versus the bull. Well, the lobstrosity, some call it a rock lobster. Rock being of the land of the goat. But then again, the lobster spends most of its verses at sea. So perhaps it is some kind of sea creature? It's hard to say if this rock lobster is goat or if it is fish, but if it has crawled out of the sea, then perhaps it is representing Team Fish. Perhaps the goat have recruited the bull to versus for goat, and the fish have recruited the lobster to versus for fish. It's a proxy war! Wall Street is a proxy war! Wall Street is a proxy war for goat versus fish! We'll say it again! Wall Street is a proxy war in versus America. The goat and the fish. They think they've got too much to lose. They've got too much to lose if they want to fight it out direct. So some goat and fish get a bit fancy about it, and they invest in the fence creatures. They invest in the fence creatures to do their dirty verses for them. And here on Fence Street, we've got lobster versus bull versusing, making fencery of goat versus fish on Fence Street. And they say it themselves. They say it's a mysterious giant lobster. But goat versus fish says, you know what? We think that bull is pretty mysterious too. It's pretty mysterious because goat versus fish has this to say to you. Cut the bull. Are you goat or are you fish? Cut the lobster. Are you goat or are you fish? It's all well in verses if bull versus lobster wants to be goat versus fish, but accept no frauds, accept no imitations. Goat versus fish was fraudulently charged $33,000 versus American dollars. That's Fence Street for you. It's all a sham, it's all a scam, and some say that's what I am. Some say goat versus fish is a scam. But you want to see a scam? It's happening right here on Fence Street. Where goat versus fish, they're trying to pull one over on you. They're trying to sell you goat versus fish, and you're getting a cheap knockoff. You're getting bull versus lobster. You're getting bull versus lobster. Often replication, never duplication. Do not invest in bull versus lobster. Invest only in goat versus fish. Well, we think this bull versus lobster is a very creative, investive strategy. Hello, my name is Stonks, and I'm the financial advisor and accountant and occasional lawyer of Goat versus Fish. And I happen to think that the diversification of bull into lobster, some say it's a bull market and some say it's a bear market, but what about the lobster market? What about the market for lobster? Some used to say lobsters were just bugs, but what's been bugging me is how come you're not investing more in lobsters and bulls? It really doesn't matter what you invest in, actually. We just want you to throw more and more and more money into financialization. We want it all financialized. We want to pump it all into AI data centers because you can't spell goat without A and you can't spell fish without I. So please invest in lobster versus bull. And goat versus fish isn't really looking into this. They're just judging this lobster for not being a goat or a fish, but you don't know, maybe they're doing something benevolent. Maybe bull versus lobster is really doing something positive for the community. But goat versus fish doesn't want to look into that. Okay, stonks. We'll do a little more investigation. About this lobstrosity who has suddenly appeared on Fence Street but we know where it all goes. Don't we know where it all goes, fish and goat? Don't we know where it all goes? Why, let's have a look at this. FinanceCoinTurk.com. Wall Street Lobster Stunt Sparks Taktile's Bold AI Initiative. Overview. Taktile's lobster sculpture event aims to merge AI and Wall Street. Taktile Labs will develop reliable AI standards for financial institutions. Don't get too excited. You may want to use your AI services confidentially, but GoatVsFish is not confident in this, and GoatVsFish doesn't have to read this slop. GoatVsFish, this versus was probably written by AI. And my versus AI, I wanted to see a lobstrosity. I wanted to see a fun lobster sculpture. In an era where artificial intelligence, Taktile's bold entry into historically AI models like Google, solutions in a sector with substantial AI spending, global AI, 97 billion, 2027, stand out amidst its rivals. Our mission at Taktile is to actually bring AI safely into banks, not with a lobster, but with a bell. The necessity of explainable AI finance remains high. Engagement with esteemed professionals. AI within financial circuits. Taktile stands poised to influence upcoming trends in the market. You can follow our new noise on Fence. GoatVsFish is unimpressed. GoatVsFish is unimpressed. Bull versus Lobster is an artificial versus. It's an artigotal versus. GoatVsFish does not believe you can bring this AI slop safely into the markets. They're just going to invest your hard-earned verses in something that they do not even have the responsibility of owning their losses, of owning their profits. All of the profits they make off of your hard-earned versus American dollar, they will claim, we are so wise to have invested it using the AI safely in the banks. Aren't you just so pleased and so happy that your versus American dollar has been invested using the AI that we have set up just for you, because we care about you and the safety of your versus investments? But then guess what? When all of your investments go to the fence, when it all gets lost, and it's all gone, and it's gone, you know what they'll say? Don't blame me. It was a decision that was made by AI. Sorry you lost all of your life savings, but it was a decision that was made by artificial intelligence, so you can't sue me, and you can't blame us. That's what we call avoiding liability. Goat and fish. The only liability that we see is that some of you have not chosen goat or fish. Are you goat or are you fish? You want to free yourself from liability? The only liability is fence sitting. You've got to make the decisions for yourself. Are you goat or are you fish? And you just forget about that false versus of Bull versus Lobster. This false versus does not deserve versus the attention of GoatVsFish. But GoatVsFish is here to give you the information. GoatVsFish is here to give you the news that you can use on GoatVsFish. We cannot ignore the fences that are all around us. We need to ask them, are you goat or are you fish? And for the safety of security of all goat and fish, GoatVsFish will bring this news and information to you, though it's not pleasant what's going on in verse America. And it's especially unpleasant what's going on Fence Street, what's going on Wall Street, because they can say build the wall, they can say build the fence. A fence by any other name still has not chosen goat or fish. And they're on Fence Street, where the fish don't blub and the goat don't bleat. Okay, there's a few fish stonks, and there's a few goat stonks. And perhaps one versus GoatVsFish will have GVF. on the stock exchange of Goat versus Fish. Wouldn't that be an interesting versus? But you don't have to be on Fence Street to invest in Goat versus Fish. You can just send Venmo, PayPal, Cash App, or Patreon to Goat versus Fish at GoatVsFish. After all, if Goat versus Fish is going to promotion Fence Street here on Goat versus Fish, then yes, Goat versus Fish is going to solicit contributions for Goat versus Fish. Invest in Goat versus Fish. Invest in Goat versus Fish. Invest in Goat versus Fish. Sunshine, we now go to our bonus commentator, Sunshine. Do you have anything to add to this horrendous false verses of Bull versus Lobster and artificial and artigotal intelligence?
Let me get my thinking medicine.
Thinking medicine, thinking medicine, thinking medicine. It's a Green Day celebration. So you're a fish. What is your comment on Bull versus Lobster AI?
Lobsters will fall dry for AI.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah.
So when it all goes to fence, they're just going to blame the lobster.
Yeah, they don't blame the lobster because they mistake lobster as an iteration of fish instead of a delicacy, which it is in parts of New England. But that doesn't stop fence from using AI to have it verse bull to distract from the true verses. That is goat versus fish.
Well, thank you for this commentation and your perspective on Goat versus Fish. And if you want to look at the numbers for Goat versus Fish are right here. We've got 420 for Goat. We've got 250 for Fish. The fence is at 390, climbing a bit too high. We're counting the Goat. We're counting the Fish. This is all the financialization you need. So if you want your remedy for greed, if you want to find your gold eventually at the end of the rainbow, invest in Goat, invest in Fish, invest in Goat versus Fish at GoatVsFish. Join the Patreon of Goat versus Fish. Like and subscribe to Goat versus Fish. This has been a Critical Versus. We'll see you on the next verses of Goat versus Fish.
Doobie 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 doobie.